You know what sound that is, folks. You betcha it's another Noon Whistle. I'm Chris Trott here.
And I'm John Anzalone, and I am with Dave Kruse, agriculture teacher and FFA advisor at Elkhorn Area High School. Dave, thanks for coming.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for coming here.
Where are we at today?
We are in the Elkhorn Area High School greenhouse plant science facility.
Excellent, and that's located?
If you look for us, we are actually in the building that's actually separate from the school. If you drive around the high school, we're along the back side. You're going to see two beautiful greenhouses along with a solar array, and that's my home.
Well, let's start out with, there is a solar array out front. How did that end up here?
Well, that's a great story. I know that a few years ago when we were going through COVID, everyone was not very excited about COVID and the things that brought with it. That ended up being, to be honest, a great time for us in the ag department when everything else slowed down. We had an idea, had a chance to kind of focus on some other items. So we had at that point, when we shut down for COVID, at that point I had a junior that was in one of my classes, and we learned about her interest in renewable energies and solar. And so then her following year is their senior year. I asked if she wanted to kind of take lead on seeing if we can find ways to integrate solar energy into our ag department. I think both of us thought it would be cool if we can get one or two panels to make some kind of difference. But it ended up with a 10 kilowatt array, and then she did most of the work. She put together the proposal. She worked with Adams Electric, got approval from the school district and school board, and she did some grant writing, and I kind of mentored her through a process to get a good chunk of that paid for through grants.
So way more than 3 panels out there.
Way more than 3 panels.
Does that power the greenhouse?
Right now it produces about 76% of our electricity needs for the year.
How great is that?
Yeah, it's great. It has turned me into the light switch police though. So when stuff is left on, I'm like, oh, got to turn that off.
Did you say, Dave, who did you have support from the local community? Any strategic business partners?
Adams Power was the primary one. They partnered with us from the very beginning. They invited us in to kind of learn about solar. They had a chance to, they helped us through the process. They helped us through the grant writing. The primary grant writing was, the grant was through Midwest Renewable Energies and the Solar on Schools program, sponsored by the Couillard Foundation. So Adams was a great supporter in helping make that happen.
Speaking of supporters, Chris, Dave, you have an amazing support system in the FFA alumni.
That is correct. Yes.
We interviewed Derek Papke, and he told us a little bit about that. But yeah,
well, you learned something too, John, didn't you?
What's that?
You learned something too when you interviewed Derek Papke.
I did. So we shot the Noon Whistle out at the Papke farm, and in the background was a piece of machinery that I called a tractor.
Oh, it's okay.
Derek quickly corrected me that it's combine, it's not a tractor.
Gotcha.
So yes, I did. I had a little lesson. I was the learner that day.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
We're always learning. And we're always learning this ag story. So
yeah.
It's a good fit. But yeah, no, we are very fortunate. Agriculture programs across the country. For years, we've been fortunate that we have community support groups that are helping advocate for agriculture education and ag programs and FFA. In Elkhorn, we are very blessed. Our Elkhorn FFA alumni and supporters group, literally we get more than 100 people volunteering throughout the course of the year with helping fundraise and help promote. And really a lot of it is fundraising, but it's also sometimes helping us with chaperone or supervise, or just, to be honest, even with the greenhouse facility, when we first built this, we had crews of individuals that were extremely helpful in helping us build and create the system for our hanging baskets and our shelving. And so we're very fortunate. We definitely have a community support group that is here to help make sure ag education keeps getting better and better.
Just a general number, how many ag classes do we offer at Elkhorn?
So at the middle school, we have one elective middle school class for agriculture at the middle school. But then at the high school, we currently offer 17 different ag classes. We have 4 major areas of emphasis. We have 4 animal science classes. We have 4 plant science classes. We have 4 that are in natural resources or environmental science. We have 2 food science, and then we also incorporate leadership classes, and then exploratory class and biotechnology.
Wow.
So we keep things juggling a little bit.
That's
and
amazing.
When I say we have two ag teachers here at the high school, and then we have a part-time middle school ag teacher.
Dave, how long have you been in the industry of teaching ag?
This is year 29.
Woo!
This is my first full-time job, and my wife and I became transplants to the area, and yeah, it's a fun story.
You're Elkhornians now.
Yes, we
29 years.
Yes, yeah. No one knows we're not from here exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Is that when I came here, I was the first full-time ag teacher in approximately 10 years, and so it was. Elkhorn was at a transition and was looking to build a program, and I was excited for that challenge. And I think we're there now. If you would have asked me, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I would have told you it took a long time to get here, but feel very proud of where we're at.
Mr. Kruse, as known, Mr. Kruse works very hard.
Yes, he does.
Always has. You've developed an amazing program. You've mentored other people. You've brought people up. And let's just say he does an excellent job with the program.
We got it.
Did you get that? Did you?
Yeah.
I added the egg in the front.
Yeah, I got it. You and Mrs. Schreiber used to do that all the time, but I did pick up pun. I did pick up on another pun from Mr. Kruse when he said we had Kruse here putting together.
True.
Yeah, see,
mine wasn't very intentional. I'll work on that next time.
That's okay. Hey, listen, I own it. I thought it was strategic and brilliant. So.
Hey, so what do you think about taking a tour of this freestanding, self-functioning classroom greenhouse that we're in?
Yeah, I'd love to. And I think while you're walking, why doesn't Mr. Kruse tell us a little bit about the upcoming plant sale on May 3rd, I hear?
Yes, May 3rd. Yes, exactly. So in the springtime, the greenhouse is a major one of our priorities. We've been able to put together and assemble a greenhouse and a plant sale. Our greenhouse crops class, they are in the midst of it right now. They basically start with an empty greenhouse and they put together a plant sale. Right now they're raising the plants, they're tending to them, make sure that they are growing healthy. We're talking about how to fertilize them, feed them, how to make sure that we water appropriately and not overwater, not underwater, pest management. And then actually today we're starting on the idea of how do we manage the business part of it? So it's fully integrated. It's plant science, it's business, it's marketing.
That's great.
And how do we interact with the customers and the community? So this building has turned out to be a great blessing, and has definitely changed what and how we're able to teach.
Yeah,
it's a great resource.
All right, I'm going to give it a shot, Chris. I don't know if my app is going to let me turn this thing like I could before we got on. But let's give it a rock star shot here. If not, I'll just follow Mr. Kruse around just like this because, we're not having much.
Can you turn your gimbal?
No.
How many 50-year-olds does it take?
Oh, wait, here we go. Hold on.
Technology.
That's not it.
No, that's not it. Look at this. You did it last time.
I know. I don't know what's up here. We're having technical difficulties with.
Since you got back in the country from St. Thomas, you've been off. You're a little off.
It's been rough. So we're gonna try it.
Yeah.
I don't think I can flip my.
Me to hold it, and I can go from there.
No. You know what? I'm gonna cameo you right here. How's this? We're gonna take a tour.
All right. So this facility is it's our classroom, but it's our dirty lab. So it's where we do our transplanting. Over here, we got our soil tables. This room also, when it comes to our plant sale, we have the ability to change it up. This becomes our point of sale. So we set up our cash registers. We've got squares. So this becomes where our students interact with the customers. And so it's, again, very great as a multi-purpose room, not only for the plant sale, but really for all of our classes. Gives us a lot of flexibility. We'll take you over this way.
You saw a little site of the Elkhorn Area High School. So you're located on the north side, just west of the athletic facility. And now we're entering the greenhouse.
Here we go.
John, you're doing a heck of a job, man.
Hey, thanks. It's a little backwards, but someday I'll get this technology down.
That's all right. So are you. That's okay.
So we have two greenhouses. First one going through is relatively quiet right now. This is our hydroponics greenhouse. We don't have any classes specifically working on it, so we have some stuff in transition. But most of our work is over in the far greenhouse. If you want to come check that out.
And for everybody out there, hydroponics is what, Mr. Kruse?
Hydroponics is raising plants without soil. We spend a lot of time getting students to think about, we want them to think about how can we do things differently. We know that we need the challenge of how do we provide food, fiber, and fuel for a growing population. we can't, we're not going to make any more land, so we have to figure out ways that we can do things differently. So that first greenhouse is just trying to get students to think about, can we try things differently, and hopefully can we find a way that's going to be successful or effective down the road in the future.
Look at this.
Yeah. So in this greenhouse, this is we have spent a lot of time in the last 4 weeks. 4 weeks ago, this place would have looked relatively empty, but this is our primary greenhouse in the spring. We have students, our greenhouse crops class. They've been transplanting and tending to and caring for these plants. Right now, we've probably got about 11,000 plants that are in this greenhouse. We've got vegetables, we've got annual flowers, we've got some perennial plants and flowers. But again, we give our students a great chance to kind of see, one, how to produce plants in a controlled environment. Eventually, ironically, is that when the plant sale is done, that's when we actually take time to slow down and actually talk about the technology of the greenhouse and those items. But once we get the plants, we find great homes for them in the community. Then our students will learn about some of the technology piece, whether it's the automated heating and climate controls, or whether we talk about greenhouse design and structures. So we get a lot of that engineering piece in the mix as well.
Can we take a cruise down the flower aisles?
Sure, we can go for a cruise down here. Come on down.
I like it. Maybe we can come over to the fish area. Don't be coy.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any fish at the moment, so that part there's not much to show you at the moment.
We're just going to take a sneak peek up and down the aisle so everybody can see what they can come and buy.
Yeah, and May 3rd. The sale opens May 3rd. What time, Mr. Kruse?
Sale opens on 9 a.m. on May 3rd. We're on that Friday. We're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Wow.
Then May the 4th be with you if you're a Star Wars fan. On
That's very good.
4th. So see, I'm working on it. On Saturday 4th, we'll be open from 9 to 3. And then our hours will be posted for that following weekend as well. But those first 2 days, we're hoping that there's a lot of plants in this greenhouse. Hopefully find a new home between those first 2 days.
Awesome.
There's something here for everybody. Everybody's garden, everybody's landscaping.
That's awesome.
And then again, about every 2 years, as we get chances, every 2 years, I do a trip to Michigan to kind of see what kind of new plants are out there. So we've got about a half dozen new varieties of plants that we've added to the mix this year as well. So for those that have come in years before, they're going to get a new look with some new plants this year as well.
It's great.
All right. What do you think, Mr. Trottier? Anything else we got?
No, I think it's awesome. So what?
Do you want to see the other side of the greenhouse?
We sure do.
All right.
Check that out as well.
It's not very often you get to reserve some time with a busy guy like Mr. Kruse.
That's so true.
As long as you want to walk and talk, you're good to go. So in this, this greenhouse facility, it's not a lot of production right now, but we've got a few things that are remnants from our other classes. So for example, here in the middle, we are raising tomatoes, and this year for the first time, we're dabbling with some cucumbers. So
Nice.
Cucumbers a little bit problematic normally with wet conditions, but we've got a variety that's supposed to be hydroponic friendly, and we're hoping that before we get into June, we're hopefully harvesting. We will definitely have some tomatoes, but we're hopefully going to have some cucumbers. We got a little bit of lettuce that's growing, not a whole lot, but we've got some systems that are in place that we definitely have the ability to have salads year round.
Nice.
Go through that. But again, neat facility. Again, a little bit quieter this time of the year, but it is a great way in the fall when we work with our alternative growing systems class. This becomes their classroom as well. So a lot of neat things happening. Very fortunate to be able to give these opportunities to our students.
Mr. Kruse,
John,
go ahead.
Walk down to the hydroponics just so people can see exactly
Sure.
what that process looks like. I think it's
All
pretty.
right, we'll take a little tour. I'm going to let Mr. Kruse get in front of me again.
So yeah, we start here. So for example, is raising tomatoes. We raise them in a bucket. Again, no soil. So this white stuff is perlite. I don't know if you can see it, but it's perlite. But for tomatoes, much like at home, we need to stake our tomatoes so they don't tip over. So our tomatoes, pretty nice. Simple part is that they will grow upwards, but our students have to come in and they have to string them up to some strings so they stay upright. A lot of people think, do we need to pollinate them? To be honest, gravity will help, but students will come in, we'll tell them to shake them a little bit. Shaking will help get them to pollinate. I don't know if you can sneak in here, John, but you can see is that we've got some tomatoes that are starting to, or that have formed. Hopefully in about 3 weeks, they will likely be turning red. The goal is that when they come to our plant sale, people come to our plant sale, we're hoping that they are red so people see that finished product that's there. So, but yeah, we got different types of systems. This one we had to shut down before the Easter break because unfortunately it got infested by insects. And over the spring break, I didn't really want those to continue to grow and develop. So we turned it off. Now we just need to get them cleaned up. This time of year, we don't want any insects, especially affecting the other greenhouse. Bad time to have insects. So we cut our losses.
Got it. That makes sense. That's awesome. That's awesome.
This is an amazing facility.
It is.
At a high school.
Yep.
It is just amazing.
There are a lot of colleges that would love to have this kind of facility to teach them, and yeah, we're very fortunate. We're able to teach them high level plant science. And
we're not only fortunate to have this, Mr. Trotter, we're fortunate to have Mr. Kruse and for him taking time with us today.
Yeah, I agree. What an awesome facility, and boy, Dave, thanks for your service to the community and the district and all the tireless work you put in for the FFA, the alumni, and you're always busy in summer and in traveling to Indy and everywhere. So it's definitely. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, I found a job I enjoy doing, so it's a great blessing.
It is a great blessing. And shout out to your partner, Bailey Hart, correct?
Yes. Yep. Bailey, and she's been great. She's been a great addition. She just coordinated. Over spring break, we just got back. We took 23 students to Italy as part of an agriculture abroad program. So
that's right. Yeah.
It's a new program that we've added to our ag department. We're hoping that this becomes a 2-year cycle that will make that as part of the mix. But the chance to take students and get them to think about agriculture outside of our country, and it was again great experience, and it's nice being part of a multi-person department.
All right, I have one question for both of you. This will be our close, John.
All right.
What vegetable did you not eat when you were a kid that you enjoy now?
Tomatoes.
Okay.
Brussels sprouts.
I'm going to go with Brussels sprouts. I also agree. I don't know if olives are a vegetable, but I didn't like olives, and now I love them now. So that's good.
We'll let you get by with olives. That'll be fine.
I don't like Brussels sprouts either, but now my wife's got a great recipe that puts bacon in them, and I just love them. So that's awesome.
So is it really the Brussels? Is it really the olives, or is it the bacon?
Yeah, well said.
We call that camouflage vegetables.
That's right. I'm getting my protein. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Kruse. Thank you so much. And everybody who's at work on this fine Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed the eclipse yesterday. And John, thanks for being on site. And Dave,
get here, buy your plants. It's amazing. Support the school district. Get involved.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And on that note,